Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Den. Have you been wondering where I was? It is Friday, January 9th. This is the first episode of the new year. I am so sorry I did not record earlier. Tuesday obviously is not my normal recording day, and it just didn't happen this week. Thought I might record Wednesday, didn't get round to it obviously, and yesterday still didn't get a chance. So here we are, Friday, first week of the new year, totally over with already. Belated Happy New Year to everyone. Yeah, it just didn't happen, and I really apologise. I've been feeling so bad this week, a little guilty not getting not getting the podcast out there, but here we are, and so let's just pretend it's Tuesday if you like. My name is Denise for any newbies or first time watchers. Everybody else knows I'm Denise. I'm also known as Knitting Den on Ravelry and Instagram. If you haven't joined the Ravelry group, the group is the Knitting Den podcast, I think. If you having trouble trying to find it, I just went into groups yesterday and typed Knitting Den, all one word, and the group does come up. So if you haven't joined, get along there and do so. Leave an introduction if you would like to, and I'll say hi. Apologies again because I did not say hi to some people last week. So I want to start off with a special hello to, and let me glance down at my notes without my glasses on, Alice, who is Alice Katie in Northern California, and Katie and Indy. Bindi wants to say hi to Indy. That's it, that rhymes. Katie and Indy are her mini schnauzers, so hi to you babies. I want to say hi to Margaret, who is Maggie Fly in Connecticut. Hi Margaret. And Cheryl, who is CJ3712 in Indiana. And Tracy, who is T Plays Nice, who's in Plymouth in Devon. Hello Tracy. Okay, I need to tell you, Tracy has a podcast. She's in, as I've just said, Plymouth in England. And you know I love my English podcasters because I just feel like I've had a quick trip home, can sit down and have a cup of tea with them. And yes, so she's on to only episode 2. Her podcast is called T Plays Nice. And I've seen both episodes and she's just the sweetest thing. Oh wait, what's that moving? That is Bindi. Caught my eye there. But Tracy, you have just a sweet, sweet face, and I've really enjoyed your podcast, so I wanted to say hi. And if you haven't checked her podcast out and you want to watch some new ones, you know, the beginning of this year, T Plays Nice is her podcast. I think that was everyone that I wrote down from last week and this week that left introductions. I want to thank everyone for joining the group if you have recently joined the Ravelry group. I know we're over 900 members now. Let's see. I'm going to do that big giveaway with a Kikiboo kit. I do have one. When we reach 1,000 members, or when it's my 3-year anniversary, whichever comes first. So if you do watch this on a regular basis but you haven't got around to joining the Ravelry group, you might want to do so, because then you would get the chance to win a Kikiboo bag, Dancing Dog Dye Work yarn. Come here, I don't want the snowball, she always wants to play. Come here baby. No, I don't want the snowball. You can play with that in a minute. You can sit and say Happy New Year to everyone. Okay? You want to say hi to Siri Sue and Einstein and Stanley and Freddie and all of those people, and Henry. No, she doesn't. I don't want the ball. I'm going to ignore you because it's not playtime. Okay, where was I? So yeah, thanks for joining the group. But if you haven't, do that. Do it now. Yeah, I can't believe it'll be 3 years in March that I will have been podcasting. Crazy. But that is that. Thanks for leaving messages in on the YouTube channel. I don't always reply to them. I do try to respond in the group as well, so I might try to do that and respond on the YouTube channel, but I'm not sure if you actually see it. In Ravelry, I can ear burn you. As of right now, the podcast can still be seen on iTunes, I think, if I get it uploaded through Podcast Garden. I'm not sure how long that's going to last, or whether I will try to look into how to do that free, because I have been told that's possible. I just haven't had the chance to look into how to do that. So I think that is everything. Leaving messages. Yeah, before we get into the start, I'm going to start with a drawing. But before we do that, I want to just a quick week in review. How was your New Year? Did you have any big celebrations? I did not, and I'm getting hot again. And I'm sorry, I do not have my cup of tea or coffee to have with you today. I've already had my cup of coffee, and I just wanted to get up here and get this started. That's my hair doing. So I don't have my cup with me. So if you're having a cup, have a sip for me. If you're having your Kit Kat, have a little nibble for me. I did put on Instagram yesterday that there was no Kit Kats in the house. They've all gone. I had plenty over Christmas, but it seems like I'm not the only one that eats them now. So I did make some shortbread. My favourite shortbread that Kay from the Bakery Bears podcast showed us a few months ago. It's a Delia Smith recipe online. Super, super simple. I cannot stop making it. It's my favourite go-to recipe when there's no biscuits in the house. And by biscuits I mean cookies or Kit Kats. So yeah, I don't have anything with me to drink today, but that's okay. Week in review, as I said, our New Year was super, super quiet. In fact, we went to bed at 11 o'clock. I didn't even see the New Year in this year, which is not, to me, it's not a huge big deal now. Used to be. And if I was back home, I would still, you know, be with my family, and we would always see in the New Year, watch Big Ben, Strike 12. This year, believe it or not, and she's fine and there's nothing major seriously wrong, but my sister, the one I FaceTime all the time, went into hospital on New Year's Eve and had to be admitted and stay overnight. And it was for a horrible, horrible stomach bug, a stomach flu that she had. She was totally dehydrated, couldn't stop throwing up, and of course had all the other flu symptoms and stomach pains and everything. So nobody back home rang in the New Year in her house either. What a start to the New Year for her. But she's fine. She did get released the next day, January 1st. And she's okay. She was a little tired for a few days. Her husband wasn't feeling very well. My brother wasn't feeling very well. But on the same day, but they didn't have what she had. I mean, if they had it, it was very mild. They just felt nauseous and they didn't throw up or anything. But anyway, that was the start of her New Year, and because of that, mine was very quiet. Didn't watch them on FaceTime, ring in the New Year at all. But that's okay. Today is my niece's 40th birthday. That's my sister's first daughter. And they're all going away to celebrate. They tend to have a weekend away in a cottage, a bit like Dan and Kay did. My sister and all her family rent a cottage for the weekend. It's usually a big one because there's lots of them, and the kids. So they're going to celebrate there. They'll be there tonight, and they're all getting dressed up 70s style. I wish I could be there, but I guess that's their that'll be their New Year as well, celebrations. Excuse me, because my nose is rather itchy. And the only other thing this week, you can see the decorations are still up behind me. The tree is still in front of me, but downstairs is all cleared up. The hallway and the stairs and the main tree. So I've been doing that this week, trying to get all of the decorations put away. This is where I'll be concentrating on today, and I have one more tree to take down in the basement. Hold on a minute. It's just really itchy. So yeah, the only other thing this week, other than trying to get all of the decorations down first, I bought, well, I didn't buy, I swapped my car, my minivan, for a new car. It's not brand new, but I cannot get out of this house when it snows with the minivan. I had a Honda Odyssey, and it does not have four-wheel drive, and it does not have snow kind of tyres on, and I just couldn't. I'm so uncomfortable driving it on the snow when this, you know, the roads are compact in the neighbourhood. So I finally went down to just one of the local dealers, and I swapped my Honda Odyssey for a Ford Explorer four-wheel drive. So I'm able to get out now. That's the only other major. I just so want to scratch my nose. That's the only other thing that happened this year, or has happened so far, which is exciting. I'm getting used to it, and I will like it. I tend not to go out if it's really snowing. I wouldn't go out anywhere. But once the driveway is clear, because hubby does the snowblower, I'm able to get up the driveway, and everybody drives past. Everybody, it's not like we're snowed in. Everybody can come and go as they please, and I felt like I couldn't, so I can now. So that is fun and exciting for me. Okay, let's see what else. Let's get on, Denise. I'm going to do the drawing. I'm not going to do the drawing. I did the drawing. December's finished object thread, last one of the year. And my apologies, because I am still trying to get the prize done for the November finished object winner. And I will be working on that now that I'm getting, hopefully, into a routine. Kristen's had our first week back at school this week, so I should be starting to get things done, for want of a better word. So I did pull a winner from the random generator. I didn't make I think it was 217 or 218 or 215, I think I wrote down now, entries. The random number generator pulled number 161, and that is Nelsor, N-E-L-S-O-R, and that's Rita in Burlington, Washington. So hi Rita, if you're watching, I hope you are, because you entered the drawing, so I hope you get to see this and see that you won. Get in touch with me. I need an address, and I will try to get a prize out to you. It'll be a Kiki-Boo bag, just don't know which one yet. So yeah, that is the last giveaway, monthly giveaway that I am doing for now. I did not open a thread for January finished objects. I just need to get organised, get back on track, and trying to do a bag every month I was behind, and then I was stressed thinking I need to get a bag made. So once I get in the swing of things, I'll see that I might have other giveaways, or I might just leave them for knit-alongs, or just a random monthly prize. I don't know. And maybe I'll just surprise you and say I did a drawing, and no idea yet. But Rita, congratulations, and get in touch with me. Okay, let's get into it. Finished objects. I'm so excited. Finished objects. I've got two. We could say three, but no, it's two really. We'll start with the two, but it's one. I've finished my socks. Oh my God. This is the fastest pair of socks I've ever knit in my life. These are my Christmas Pud socks. I'll show you the pretty colours in the stripes there. Just a plain sock. This is sport weight yarn, and it is Dancing Dog Dye Works sport weight special colourway Christmas Pud that Michelle from Dancing Dog Dye Works dyed up for. I'm not sure if it was just me and her had the colourway so far, because we were just so obsessed with Christmas puddings this year. I got to hold them like that while I'm chatting to you, because I love them. So sport weight, just a plain vanilla sock, and I did them two at a time. You would have seen them a couple of weeks ago when I first started. It was Christmas Eve cast on with Danny from Little Bobbins Knits. I did the Fish Lips Kiss Heel. Let's see if we can see. I'm not sure. I like the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, but I'm not sure I'm doing it very well. Especially this one. I don't know, that just looks a bit messy to me. And I always seem to have a tiny little hole for some reason here. It doesn't matter how tight I pull the yarn when I turn. So what I did, I started off, it was top down, and I started off following the video on YouTube from Stacey, who is from verypink.com. She does a lot of tutorials. Sure, I kind of knew, but I just watched as a refresher. She showed you how to cast on a magic loop for top down. So I started with, now this is sport weight. I think she was doing the fingering. I started with, I want to say 48 stitches, 24 on either side. And I just knit and knit and knit. And like I mentioned, I think it was last week, when I got to, you know, how do I do the heel, she was going to show you how to do the heel. I had to go on her website, and she wanted $10 for the pattern. And I didn't want to pay $10 for a pattern when I have the Fish Lips Kiss heel pattern, and I really loved it. So all I did, and I haven't, the Fish Lips Kiss heel, you're supposed to measure your foot, and I have done that, but I've measured it for the toe up way, and I know exactly where to start the heel. I've not done it from where to measure if I'm going top down for socks. So I just kind of guessed it. I just tried it on, and when I got to, you know, where I got to this part really on my foot, I started the heel. I'm not sure whether it's as good a fit as the toe up ones I've done recently with Fish Lip Kiss heel, but they fit and I love them. So that is the first pair, sport weight, and I think because it's sport weight, they knit up super quick, super quick compared to the fingering, I think. So that is my first finished object, and I'll just show you the yarn. I did start, oh, and it's very soft and squishy now. Look, this is what I have left. This, it looks like a lot, but it's hollow inside because I was pulling from the centre. So I wonder what I can get out of that. Maybe I can make a little mini toy, fingering weight toy. I've never tried to do that with yarn left over. But that is what I had left. I did have the label. This was my label because it was Squishy Sport, Superwash Merino, 80% nylon. No, 80% with the Superwash Merino and 20% nylon. 328 yards. So that is what I've got left, and I might try to put something fun on the needles soon. Okay, the other finished object. Now, I think I need to, normally I say what's left the den. I think I need to rename this section, because these things, the socks and this item, won't really be leaving the den. They're for me, so they stay in the den. So I might just have to scrap that title and say, call them finished objects again. Yes, it's Hermione, and she's finished. She needs buttons, but hey, there is no knitting needed, so she's finished object. That's the way I am classing that. So here she is. Kay from the Bakery Bears podcast, a new pattern. Miss Gelato Giraffe is the pattern, but I called her Hermione because the yarn that I knit her with is Gnome Acres Hermione colourway, and it's a worsted. And then I think I just used some scrap worsted in a pink for the contrast. And then the cardigan, I wanted something that would stand out, and I think little Miss Hermione might need to go on a diet. I had to block this unbelievably because it was a tad small. So I think most of the Kay's giraffes and everybody else's giraffes, the cardigan does kind of stay open, but I need to get 3 little buttons on there. And I wanted something like a contrast, a very different colour to make the cardigan stand out. I didn't want to just do another pink cardigan. Definitely wouldn't have done variegated, obviously. And the yarn for this is just the Barocco's, I want to say Weekend DK. It's just their little balls of DK acrylic yarn that I've got a few colours in now for things like this. So there she is. And she's not leaving the den. This one, she's staying with me. So we can't call it leaving the den, can we? Because you don't want to go anywhere. No. Keep away from Bindi. She might think, yeah, hers. So that was another fabulous quick knit, and definitely might have to do another one. As I said, the fingering weight I'm not sure what it would turn out like because it's striped, but I'm going to be doing, if I did that for the a mini giraffe, I might just have to do that and see how it comes out. I bet it's adorable. Alright, so let's move into what's in the den. And what's in the den? What else did I work on? Oh yeah, I'll show you first something I cast on. Haven't knit on it in a few nights because I got busy casting on something else, but I did cast on, and it's in my big Rainstorm Studios bag, and if I turn it around you'll see all of I've got all of the colours I'm going to use for, I don't know whether to just use all of these colours or go and get some, bring in some leftover fingering weight sock yarn, because, and I don't know if I've got the pattern, I did cast on for the leftover cow. Oh, I did, and it's colour, look at this. This is a paid for pattern, so I'll just kind of show you the pictures you see on Ravelry when you buy it. And it's to use up lots of sock weight yarn if you would like, but I've chosen to use a pack of Knit Picks palette that I won. This was from Dramatic Knits months and months and months ago. I won a pack from Steve and Callie. So I cast on the cowl, and this is what I've got done so far, and it's kind of very curling up. And it's hard to get this first part unrolled. You can kind of see this one better. It's a provisional cast on, as you can see, and I'm onto this second pattern. This one looks like only half a pattern, but that's all it said on the pattern. I think once I get, oh, excuse me, I think once I get to the other end and be kind of grafting these together, I think the end will finish with this other pattern, I'm imagining. So there's the other side. I was really in the mood for some colour work, so I had to get this on the needles, and it's super, I want to say super easy, but it's really nice patterns because it's Fair Isle, it's not intarsia, which I really do not like. It's very simple. I've got markers in between all of the numbers, and so you can see exactly, you know, when you've knit the however many stitches it is, 12, or you can see how many. Now, I did not cast on the same amount of stitches as the pattern says. It was just going to be huge. As you can see, this is it is a leftover cow, but I thought it was a, oh yeah, it's going to be a cowl. I was going to say I thought it was a scarf. It's going to get joined in the round, it's going to be long, and then you can double it up. If you cast on more stitches, you're going to end up with a larger circle, obviously, tube. And I didn't want it to be that wide, so I went down and I just cast on, to be honest, I cast on enough to fill the 24-inch circular. So that got put on the needles. But as I said, I haven't picked that up in a few nights because I was finishing off the socks and I wanted to keep picking them up when I was watching TV. And that brings us into, let's see, I'm going to, with the work in progress still, I'm going to go into the cowl. The knit along, the Lawrence Sweater knit along, started 1st of January, and I only just 2 days ago finally decided on the yarn and bought more yarn, because I had tried to buy yarn from the local yarn store twice and then changed my mind. So I finally bought the yarn I wanted, and it was the Barocco Vintage in Worsted, and I made myself a new bag to put it all in, a sweater bag. And I absolutely love it, and it's just my favourite bag right now. I've got all of the yarn I need for the sweater in there, so I don't have to keep going to the shelf and pulling out skeins once I've finished. I made a big tote, and I used my new toy, my new embroidery machine, obviously. So it's a big tote and everything's in, and I love it. Absolutely great size. I think I've made a tote similar to this, same size I think. I've just never kept one for myself. So inside you'll see all of if I can open it, all of the skeins of yarn. I've got 5 skeins of yarn there. 2 are caked up. Oh, there's the other one. So I asked her to cake one of them up. She did 2 for me, just so I could get started with a gauge swatch as soon as I got home. So here it is. This is Barocco Vintage, and this is the Forget Me Not colourway. Looks a little brighter blue for you on there, but it is. It's just a blue, a nice, not pastel obviously, but just a nice sky blue, really soft, bright blue sky kind of colour for me. That's what it reminds me of. So that's all in there, and if you can see, I've got the pattern because I did put a pocket in that I could slide the pattern down, and on either side of this pocket is 2 small pockets where you can slide your pencils or pen. I've got this one that was sent to me by a sweet friend. She knows who she is if she is watching it, and I love it. That's my pencil, so that's if I need to make any notes. And yeah, the pattern. There's a few of us have cast on. I did not print out the front page. I'll not show you that too quickly. There's a lot of pictures on there and I did not want to use or waste my ink, but and if you're wondering why I'm not showing you what I started, it's because there's nothing on the needles. I ripped it out last night, so I'll tell you why in a second. This is the pattern, and we're doing this knit along with Sarah and Matt from the Apple Blossom and You podcast. So there it is. It's a beautiful, no sleeves really, very, very short sleeves. A sweater with a chunky cowl, not cables, chunky cowl, and a pattern on the front and the back that kind of breaks up the garter stitch, which you can kind of see there if I get rid of the glare. I love it. The more I look at this sweater, the more I just like the style. I can't wait to get it finished and wear it with a long sleeved tee underneath. But I did start this, I want to say yesterday or the day before, and I frogged it last night, because when you're knitting in the round and you're knitting garter stitch, I'm sure many of you know, you have to knit around and purl around to get the garter stitch. If you just knit every round, then it's looking like the stockingette, which is what we do when we knit in the round for hats and sweaters and everything. So I didn't read the pattern correctly, and it said to knit the first so many rows. And I assumed that we were starting off knitting, the first few rows were the garter stitch, and they weren't. So I was knitting around, purling around, and I ended up with garter stitch, and then you do, I call it a welt. You can see on the cowl, it's like there's folds in the cowl. And I did that, and I kept thinking, it's not looking right. It doesn't look like what was on that picture. And that is because I had what looked like garter stitch, and I am supposed to have what looks like stockingette stitch. I had to pull it out, all of it. I mean, it wasn't that much, it was only an inch worth, but I had to pull it off, and I just didn't get the time to cast on again last night. I will do that today, because I am super excited to get started. There is a thread in the Ravelry group, the Lawrence Cal, and I opened it for some chatter. If you're planning on working on the cal, what yarn you've got and everything, I'm going to leave that as just one thread, and it'll be the chatter and finished object thread. At the end of February, this is a 2-month cal, I'm going to draw for a couple of prizes. Probably, I'm sure it'll be a bag or something from my shop if I can get back into doing my Etsy shop. So if you've cast on, if you started, if you're joining in, pop into the thread and let us know what you've decided on, what yarn you're using. And you can also, now this is kind of triple dip, because obviously you can dip into Sarah and Matt's thread and put your finished object there. And Pen, Hook and Needles, who is Talia and Marlisha, I was going to say Natasha. Talia and Marlisha, hi Natasha. Their podcast, Pen, Hook, Needles, is having a sweater along starting January, and I did check and ask Marlisha, and you can double dip into that, but you do need to go along to their Ravelry group and just check to see what the full rules are, because I'm not sure if there's any other specifics. Obviously, probably can't be cast on until after January 1st, things like that. Okay. The other knit along that's actually starting on Monday, hasn't started yet, so I'm not behind, but haven't decided on anything yet, and that is the Tea Cosy Cal with Tilly Trout from the Tilly Trout podcast. And I still haven't decided on what teapot I'm going to knit. So I'm not sure if I'll actually get one on the needles as soon as it starts. But if you want a fun knit along, it's a tea cosy, as I just said, and there's tons and tons of tea cozies, fun patterns or sometimes just simple patterns. Excuse me. Tilly has a thread over there, tons and tons of chatter in Tilly's group, and her actual group is called Trout Mail. You wouldn't find it if you search for Tilly Trout group. It's Trout Mail, and there's such a chatty bunch of people over there, I guess me included when I can get over there, and it's just fabulous to go, and lots of different threads, lots of different chatter. So that is the other one that I kind of know of, and I'm thinking of casting on, but haven't made the full decision yet about what pattern. Alright, let's move on. Oh, I still did not bring that. I'm not doing spinning, there's no spinning section, I've just kind of got off it again. Hopefully I'll donate a few minutes every day if I can get into a routine soon. So we'll jump into show and tell. Now I have show and tell. I went down to the local yarn store, so I do have a few things. There was a skein of yarn I wanted to show, and it was a gift over Christmas, and I still kept forgetting to bring it up. But it is yarn from Countess Ablaze. I've never ever had any of that, and I was sent some at Christmas, so thank you to my friend who sent that. And the first time I ever heard of that yarn was from James of Dancing Geek. He kept talking about this yarn, and the person, I'm not sure if he met the dyer or what, but anyway, I got it gifted a skein, and I keep forgetting to bring it up and show you. So that I will try to show it in the next week or so as part of show and tell. So show and tell this week, obviously all of the Barocco that I bought from the yarn store. I also picked up some of this superwash DK because I do plan on trying, and it is superwash wool. I want to try a cowl in a superwash wool to see if it itches my neck before I consider using superwash wool for sweaters. So I picked this up because I'm just in the mood for some creamy coloured classic kind of thing. So I might find a nice cable cowl pattern. I'm not sure if I'll need two or if I don't know. I just picked that up. I'll see what I can get out of it. I can always run down and get another ball. Probably she'll have the same dye lot still there. So I got that. That is Universal Yarn Deluxe DK. And I got some more cream. And it's a new whip. I should have, I guess this was part of the whips, but it's not because it might come off the needles. Only just started it and not happy with how it looks. So in my knot bag, I decided to cast on socks, new socks, but I am sticking with my 2 at a time, and I wanted to do classic cream as well. And I'm inspired by Danny from the Little Bobbins Knits, who just finished a beautiful pair of cream coloured socks for her mum. I think it was for her mum's birthday. And I was inspired by Tilly because she just recently finished a pair of Hermione socks. Yeah, Hermione. I've got a theme going on this month. And I've never knit the Hermione socks yet. Free pattern on Ravelry, and they always look fabulous when people have finished them. There's a little bit of a texture to them because of a pattern. So I decided I wanted to do that. And I'm using, I say it's fingering weight yarn. I'm using the same yarn that I'm knitting that teal sweater in, that Iwi, which I haven't picked up for a while. It's Folio from Barocco. And I'm going to make you laugh here because it is, it does have alpaca in it. What was I saying about I don't like alpaca? Itchy. But these are going on my feet. Now it might be a text if you heard a funny noise, but I'll not stop it. These are going on my feet, so I don't think they'll be itchy. It is 85% superfine, 65% superfine alpaca and 35% rayon. Isn't rayon like nylon? So it might have a little stretch. I'm not sure. I just decided that I'm going to try, and I cast on yesterday, and it just looks a jumbled mess again. The key to, and I'm jumbled up again until, the key to 2 at a time is to come from the centre ball so that they're not rolling around when you pull them. The only little problem is every time you pull them out of your bag, they're just a little twisted and you just have to untwist before you can start. So barely started, I'm on the rib. Wants to go down. Now, the reason I might pull these out and start again is because I've just started that. I know it's blurry. This does not put into focus when I get up close. So, 64 stitches, 32 on each side. And this one is very, very loose. And a silly me, I mean very loose, and I'm not liking it. Much bigger than this is going to be. And silly me, I know the reason why. To do 2 at a time, when you cast one on and you move them up the magic loop, you cast the other stitches on a DPN, or 2 DPNs, and then you fold them and then you slide them on to your magic loop. I just grabbed whatever was close to me and I picked up a pair of DPNs, or 2 of them, yeah, pair. Which was like 3 sizes bigger than the size I'm using, which is size 1. I didn't think it would matter. I thought once it's on the needles, you know, I'll just tug that first round, it'll tighten up. But it didn't. It's very, very loose. So I think I'm going to unpick them, start again, do it correctly, get the size 1 DPNs to cast on, and then get going on another pair of 2 at a time socks, which I'm very excited about because the ones I just finished, absolutely loved knitting, and just, I feel like I just accomplished something so quickly. It was fabulous. Alright, the other show and tell, before I forget, and it's in my bag here. I wanted to show you, and again, did I bring up, I still can't find I thought I brought the package up. I took it out of its package. I still have something else for show and tell too. I don't mind if this is a long podcast because I know some of you have been waiting for it, and you often say that you do like a longer chat. So I'm not rushing, but I wanted to show you my other gift. This was from my knitty friend, my neighbour knitty friend. And if she's watching, she knows who she is. And this is a Circa machine. You might have one, or you might have seen them. It's a row counter, and it came separate. My friend bought the row counter, and then this packet, you know, to keep it, comes in a separate packet. You have to buy that as well if you want to store it correctly. I didn't bring up the instructions and stuff. I don't know, I must have left them. But it says on the back here, patent pending. So this is a unique, you might have something similar, but this apparently is a unique gadget. It's got 3 counters on, and for advanced knitters you'll know that sometimes in a pattern you are asked to count 3 different things. And the sample it gives you in this the instructions is, the first one is yellow, and if your pattern says decrease every 10th row, so you're going to set it, and I was trying to push it around, you know, push it round like a clock, but you can't. It's got a tiny little, you see that little nook there? It fits, you have to lift it up and then place it inside and click it in so it doesn't move. So for instance, decrease every 10th row 6 times, and there's the grey on the 6. A lot of the time that's all you use. And so for every row you will move your yellow counter, you know, 1, I'll get rid of it, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll go all the way to 10. And when you get to 10, you're going to move your grey counter once, because that is 1 time. And you just do that until you've decreased. You'll set your first one obviously back to 0 again. Do 10 again. Move the grey counter to number 2. Some patterns will say, when they're asking you to decrease, especially on raglan sleeves, I notice this V-neck raglan, they'll ask you to decrease every so many rows for your sleeve. At the same time, decrease on the neck edge every 14 rows. So that's when the blue one comes into to play. And I am not sure if you set this to 14 and you move your blue counter every time you get there, but if it says do that 3 times, I'm not sure how I would use the grey to count that, or if I feel as if I'll need 4. I'm not quite sure about that, but the majority of the time I'm using just the 2 counters, as most of us are. I bet, or at some point, I might be able to get on YouTube and somebody will actually tell you a little bit more about this. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, that is a fabulous new little gadget, and it fits in here like that, and then it tells you to put the felt on, I guess, to stop it rattling around. But there's 2 different, I don't understand why, 2 different little felt things, and then you kind of just close it, and then you put the band around, elastic band. So that was fun, and now that's going in my sweater bag for if I need to start do decreases on or increases on that. That's my main project, my main big project. A couple of other things that show and tell. I did, while I was down there, pick up these. Never used them before. I got a set of the Novas from Knitter's Pride. I don't know what they're like yet. To be honest, a lot of these needles all just seem the same to me. I have Knit Picks circulars interchangeable, which is all silver. And the other interchangeable set I got was the Knitter's Pride Dreams. That's the wooden ones, the pretty wood colour. And then just recently I got 2 sets of the Knitter's Pride Carbons. So because I was down there with some Christmas money to spend, I thought I'd pick up 1 set. I seem to have needed a size 3 quite recently a few times. I kept like, what am I knitting with 3, because I can't find any pairs of my size 3. It's a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. So I just thought I would try them. I wanted to see. I think the price is gone. I think they're just like $8 or something. These are nowhere near as pricey as turbos, so I like, you know. I just don't have the money to do turbo. Now, straight away I can tell that they feel really good because they don't curl, the wire doesn't curl too much. I must admit, I have noticed on the, on the carbons, they will have the cable wrapped like this small and 3 or 4 times for a long cable. So when you open it up, it's kind of really, really curly still. but as I said, as you can see, when you unravel that, you've only got that one little loop, which is fabulous when you want to get started on socks or cows or whatever you're going to knit on it, even straight knitting. These are fixed, obviously, it's just one pair, and I don't know how long that will last, but it's got, you probably can't see it, it's got the size here. So I will give them a try sometime pretty soon. So that was another little treat with my mummy's Christmas money, really. That's where that came from. Put that away. I did pick up another few, I'm always short, I picked up another few cables as well, which are really a good price, I think. I don't have to order online. It's my way of supporting my little local yarn store, which is not so little now. She did go into bigger premises recently, and it's fabulous. Okay, I'm still on show and tell. I kept meaning to show you these the other week. I was cleaning out a cupboard a few weeks ago, downstairs in the basement in one of my IKEA cupboards, and I came across these patterns that I think my mom sent me many years ago, and I kept wanting to keep them, and I've wanted to frame them, and I just haven't got round to it. I know you, but these are going to look fat. I'm going to frame these two specifically, these two individual ones. They're old patterns, and I know one girl in particular, and I'm not sure if she watches, and that is Me and My Dog and Some Yarn. I think that's the podcast, and I've totally blanked on your name. I don't know if it's some Ravelry name, something about horse. Maximum recording time reached, so I know we've gone up to 47 minutes at least. I was talking about Me and My Dog and Some Yarn podcast, and I forgot your name, still forgot it. But I know she collects vintage patterns and everything like that. And I am thinking of you all the time when I look at these patterns. Look at these, and they're so shiny, it's almost like it's silver paper. You see the shine on that? But if I get the glare off, these are the oldest patterns I remember my mum having when I was back home and I was about 10 or 12. Here's another one. And they're super adorable. And it's actually like, almost like a little booklet. And it's so yellow and old, I mean, look at it. But the staples haven't come out yet. It's all in one piece. At least this one is. And there's another plate. And this is in 3 first size cardigans in Peyton's, or patterns. Peyton's, I say, Quick and Knit. I don't know if that's the kind of yarn. And I've not ever knit these patterns. This one says second size. And this is a coat style. That looks like a cardigan to me, but that kind of looks like a little coat, double-breasted. And then that almost looks like a little cardigan too. So I found these, I totally forgot I had them, and I want to frame them. I might even take them to get framed nicely and put them in my craft room. Because I don't want to lose them. I'm not going to knit them ever. I just want to see the pictures because they're so old. And I mean, you know, these are probably older than me. Yes, I know that's saying something. They're probably older than me. The other one I found, and it's not as old, but this is probably might be back in the 70s. I had this one as well. And this is a little, what we would call a matinee coat in a bonnet. And then it's got that shawl, or that round shawl, but that to me almost looks like, let me see if I can find it, it looks almost like, yeah, I was going to say it looks like, I couldn't get the word out, it looks like crochet to me, and it is. I can see from it saying shawl, it'll tell you to chain into whatever, this, that and the other. I can't read crochet patterns. Sorry, Marlisha, I can't read crochet. So yeah, that was the last of my show and tell. Gosh, yeah, wasn't that a long-winded section? Okay, so we move into book talk. just a quickie. And I've got a few here. Oh, I love showing you what I've got. And I wish I could see what you're reading or what you're looking at right now. But I finished this. Oh my goodness. Fabulous story. I really, really enjoyed this book. The Light Between Oceans. M.L. Stedman. Apparently we were asking in book club this week, did you think M.L. Stedman was a man or a woman? I don't know what the hair's doing. Hang on, I have to adjust that. That just looks ridiculous. There we go. Some people knew, and I hadn't really thought about it to be honest, but it was a woman. And the story, this is from the library, the story was about a married couple. He was a lighthouse keeper. See, lighthouse. And when they married, she went with him and they're basically on like an island on their own. Not stranded, but you know, he works the lighthouse, lights the lighthouse every night. This is way back in the, I don't know what years, but it was before the electricity on the lighthouses or whatever they do now. And while they were there, once she married, she did try to have a family, and she had a few miscarriages. And then one day, this is all I'm going to say, I don't want to spoil the story. One day, a boat washes up on shore, and there's a baby in it. And there's a man in it, obviously, who was, you know, sailing the boat, but he is dead. The baby's only about 3 weeks old or so. So that's all I'm going to say. Other than the fact, she persuades her husband to let her keep the baby. Really, really, not fun. Really, really good read. Yeah, I really got into that, and I felt for. Let's just say the other mother is involved in the story, and I felt for both of them. I really did. So, got that finished. That was our book club, and we had the meeting on Wednesday, and it was a really fun night. That's my once a month let's get out, and the hostesses, we're teaming up now where, you know, you can do a joint meeting, and what you provide dinner and wine, and it's like going out to dinner once a month, and it's fabulous. I get to sit with all these wonderful ladies. One of the highlights of my month, I should say. Next month's read is The Language of Flowers. I bought this from Amazon instead of running down to the library. Vanessa Diffenbaugh. I would say a Diffenbaugh for that. Or Diffenbaugh. I want to say a bow. Then I just realised I'm not going to be here for the February meeting. I still want to get into this. That really put me in the mood to pick up a book and get reading again as well as knitting. And I find that if I can get into the story quick enough, I will find the time to pick a book up more often. So I'm hoping I can get into this. I've heard it's really good. The reason I'm not going to be at the February meeting, which is the first Wednesday of the month, is that will be the day, same as last year, I'll be flying off to Florida. Yeah! For the Sock Bunny, second annual Sock Bunny retreat. Knitting retreat. I went last year. Kimberly from the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit podcast, if you have not watched it or heard of it. I can't imagine anyone not knowing about that. She last year hosted the very first retreat there, and it's she doesn't want it like to be huge. It's not like SSK and other ones that there's over hundreds of people. This was really, really quiet, and it turned out, I think she only opens it up to about 20. And I think last year there was only 12 or 13 of us, and it was fabulous because I got to actually meet 11 other gals and talk to them all weekend. It was just fabulous, and it's in a hotel in Tampa, Florida. I just can't wait, and I'm so happy that hubby's let me go again. So after I think I deserve it. After the Christmas and everything I do for the family, and I mean, I do it because I love it, you know, all the decorations and the baking and the cooking, and then hosting the Christmas party too with my friend. I just think I need a little bit of extra me time. And not just me time in the house, because I still cook and you know, feed my kids and my furry guys, the pups. Me time where I do not have to cook anything. It's just all about me and all about what I love, knitting, and being with the people who love what I love. Can you tell I'm excited? I can't wait. So that's in less than 4 weeks, 3 weeks now maybe, or around about 4, maybe it's the 4th week, I don't know, but it comes so quickly after Christmas. I love it. So I will not be at the meeting for the book, but I'm going to hopefully get into the book. And I guess this might, let's see. The girly chatter, kind of not making a specific section, and I'm going to blend these two again together. I was going to say part of book talk, because they are books, is about what's in the kitchen. And what's in the kitchen was going to be a little bit of the girly chatter. So let's just blend it all together. And let me cross my knee, cross my legs. It's a new year. And many of us, not necessarily me this year, but in the past, I've always wanted to start a diet, a new diet, or a new way of eating, or a healthier way of eating in January. Always motivated to do that. So in the kitchen, we've been, as I've mentioned in the past couple of weeks, doing juices, juicing, making juices with carrots. And we do a similar one just about every day. Carrots, apples, sometimes an orange, some ginger, fresh turmeric if we have it, which looks like a ginger root when it's fresh, half a lemon, and then greens, kale or spinach or whatever. And we're loving it. Now with the spinach, I don't juice the spinach, can't get much juice out of the spinach really. So what I do is I throw the spinach in my blender, and once I've made the juice, I pour the juice in the blender, and that helps blend the spinach. So we're getting a lot more greens than trying to juice it. But we'll absolutely love it. So I'm not really starting any diet, not making any resolutions about, oh, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to the gym, and we do want to try and walk a little bit more, but just again trying to get organised and get the Christmas stuff down. I haven't done that yet. And the other two books, one of them I got myself for Christmas, and you're going to probably, some of you are going to say, what? When you see the title. Yeah. But I think that looks really tasty. Yeah, vegan. I mentioned that I am trying to cut out eating meat. And I'm going to say something now, and I'm not going to get on a soapbox or anything. All I'm going to say is I didn't even see the full documentary. I saw something recently that was on our Netflix or YouTube we were watching, and it was about how the animals are treated and handled and processed and everything for the meat we eat. And I'm just going to say I could not look at the screen. I had to look away. It was horrible. I know a lot of us understand and realise that kind of happens, but we don't see it, and we can quite easily forget about it. And I can too. I have done in the past, but for some reason this time I just couldn't get it out of my head. And so not for just that reason, but for health benefits as well, I just thought, what would it be like if we don't eat red meat? And then, so why eat chicken either, or pork? So the past few weeks we've not had meat, and that is, we did have something for Christmas Day. And sometimes we will still have meat because I still have it in the house, in the freezer. But I was interested to see what are the meals like and what can I make if I do cut out the meat. And cutting out meat, obviously they say you're a vegetarian. And a vegetarian will have milk and eggs and cheese. And I'm trying, and it's very difficult, but I am trying to not have that either. Because the way they treat the cows who give us the milk is not nice either. So I don't know. As I said, I'm not getting on the soapbox. I'm nothing wrong with eating meat and chicken for everyone else. I might not be able to do this. Our society is just, that's the way it's geared, and I don't know what else to do. It's so ingrained. I like chicken, and I like steak, and I like barbecue ribs and all of that kind of thing. So I don't know. But this was a really nice, interesting book. I decided to treat myself over Christmas. I'll just show you the inside. It's got some pictures, nice coloured pictures. There's a website. There's lots of websites about vegan stuff. Some stuff I've tried recently and I don't like. But anyway, I'm flicking through and you can't see, so I guess I should flick through like that, and you can see what I'm seeing. I'm just flicking and looking at pictures. And the other one I got out of the library. This is a website too, but I didn't want to order it. I wasn't sure what it's like. The Oh She Glows cookbook. She's got a website, Oh She Glows, and this is vegan as well. Now, and this is, I quite actually like this. I think I wish I'd bought it. Got nice, colourful pictures, and again, all vegan. So not even cheese or milk. Not cow's milk anyway, obviously, there's almond milk and there's soy milk and stuff like that. So that is what's going on in the kitchen, part of Book Talk, and that's my girly chatter. So, oh goodness, they're heavy. Yeah, I am always conscious about what we eat, and I go through phases where I'm lazy and I do want to get back into eating all of that terrible processed food because I like it, the chips and all of that. But then there's many a time, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, I do like to try and make a lot of our meals from scratch. I enjoy that as well. So that is girly chatter. And I hope, please don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the way any of us eat. And just everyone, and we have a personal opinion, and personally for me, this is just what I want to do and try to do now, is cut out the animal products from my life, and we'll see how it goes. So that is everything this week. I think it's been a longer one, and the only thing I've got left to say is normally at the end of the podcast I will sometimes go into shop news, which is about my Etsy shop. It has not had anything in it for quite a few weeks. As you know, I took off beginning of December, decided I'm not going to try to sew bags and get that stocked up because I wanted to concentrate and have fun with the family. So I am back to trying to make bags, and because of my new toy that I treated myself to for Christmas, which is an embroidery machine, I am going to try over the next week or two to get some bags made and put in the shop. I'm just not sure how to take orders if I am offering the bags with names on, because obviously they're going to be pre-orders, but I don't want to put so many pre-orders in a shop update and then be overwhelmed because I've got 10 or 20 bags to make within a week. So I'm still working on that, so not really much to say other than I will let you know here, or in the Ravelry group, or in the shop group, the shop front page on Etsy, about any updates or how I'm doing and when there'll be stuff in there. So that's all I got to say about that part. And then with that, it is the end of this very first episode of 2015. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it was long enough for you. I hope you are all having a great start to your new year. And guess what? Come on, say it with me. I hope you come back next week and join me in the knitting den. Bye, guys.